Hello, friends. Just gonna hang tight, and our pal Brett should be joining us. But it is the release day, so thank you for listening, sharing it, and sending us a whole lot of message. Oh, there we go. We got a fucking John Brems in the house. I'm waving at you, but you got to push the button, right? But yeah, dude, release day feels weird as hell. It's an emotional roller coaster, but it's been really fun. And you guys have been spinning the hell out of it and sending us lots of cool shit, so thank you. All right, bringing fucking Brahmins in here. Hang on. We're just going to see if this works. And we can see your comments, so send whatever you want, man. Oh, shit!
Hello, good sir.
Look at you, you beautiful bastard. How's it going?
Good, happy day. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah, dude, it's just weird. We were talking about this the other day. Not ours anymore, and that's a good thing, but it's still fucking scary, you know?
Yeah, it's always scary.
I went for a long walk on the beach at like 2 in the morning, and that felt pretty good. Give it a little, and I was like, it doesn't suck.
No, of course it doesn't. Do you like check shit all day? Like your phone?
Phone's been buzzing all day, which is like, I don't know, sometimes it feels good, and then it's really like I listened to the Chemical Brothers for like 6 hours a day. I was so fired up, and then I was like, an hour before this, I was like, I need to change the phone to show up on this alarm. Just way too wired.
I don't know who the Camel Toe Brothers are.
Oh, I'm gonna send you some. It's just like it's electronic music. It's awesome, and they're scary, and it's good.
Yeah, I like to think of myself as a guy that doesn't like check things, and I'm really just lying to myself all the time because when release day comes, it's just like refresh.
Well, that's the thing. Cool guys don't. They don't look at explosions and walk away.
We're not cool guys, buddy.
That's the thing. Once I embraced that, my life got better. Yeah. So those of you who don't know, we put out the Skeletons' first LP, Change the Channel, today, or like at midnight, whatever. And my good pal Brett Emmons wrote a bunch of tunes with me. Essentially, we had like a bit of the record done. I was kind of just fucked. I couldn't get anywhere with it. You're sideways now. I don't know if that's gonna flip right. But you invited me to come to Ontario and work on some tunes. So basically, you picked me up from the airport, we drove to Hamilton, and then we just like 10 days in a row. I just slept on your couch and we worked on tunes every day, and then we sat in the back and smoked darts and talked shit, and then we worked on tunes all day. It was pretty dazzling.
Drank whiskey and blasted fucking Drops of Jupiter from the living room and sang as loud as we could.
Yeah, fucking the very last night we were like celebrating because we were like we had a bunch of tunes that worked, and so we're like, call it 3 a.m, like screaming Drops of Jupiter karaoke, just like as loud as I'm wearing, like, we're both wearing our sunglasses upside down, and I'm air guitaring with a plunger, and then Jordan comes down. She's like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" And we showed her the songs, and you know, most of them, she was like, "Okay, cool, this was worth keeping up for." And then I remember we showed her Change the Channel, and she laughed in our face, and I was like, "That's an appropriate reaction." The song is like the most ridiculous thing the Skeletons have ever put out, easily.
What have you had any feedback on that one yet?
Just people talking about the vocals, and it's like I tasted blood on that take. Remember, we had a bunch of little kind of like dancey that was like trying to be disco, and then you went in the back for a dart, and I just screamed it as loud as I could, and you came back in, you're like, "What the fuck did you just do?"
That's what I like, man.
But it worked, and that's the kind of the fun thing about this record. But mostly the shit you and I did was like, I don't know, we worked in a lot of like real fucking fancy studios where you burn money, and it's fun. It strokes the ego, but this was just like recording handheld, drunk in a kitchen, and it was right from the guts, and it felt good, and it sounds real. And that's the thing. Is like, I didn't want this to be fucking airtight. We were talking about like, this isn't supposed to be like Oren Ishii from several rooftops away with a sniper rifle. This is like Donkey Kong throwing a barrel right at your
face. Yeah, it felt like that too. And I mean, most things work that way. They happen by accident, and I feel like You and I did a lot of great work that week, but we also just had a great time, and I think it shows.
And what I was kind of thinking too is like, because we met on tour and we've always like your tour's going this way, mine's going that way, and then we have a rager and Medicine Hat or something. It's the first time we've ever been stationary. Every other time we've ever hung out, you're waking up
Yeah,
that you fall asleep in, and that's just a weird fucking lifestyle. And so to just
yeah,
like wake up and make coffee and have a chat, it was pretty different from like whatever tour hangs. Tour hangs are great, but they're just a
totally.
variety of time.
They're too quick. They're way too quick. Like, and they're fleeting, and they're usually drunk, and they're just it's sloppy, and
Yeah, the
it's a
last
little easy.
yeah, the last like time
I'm
out was we were pissed backwards in a parking lot in Denver. That's
yeah,
the last show I played. The last show I watched too. You guys ripping well, it wasn't that, it's Englewood, Colorado, but the Gothic Theater. It's a very good night, man. And then we drove home through a wicked snowstorm the next day. Just hurt. Yes, definitely threw up at a gas station halfway through.
I hardly remember that whole tour. It's fucking.
It was full on, but it's good. And I was thinking too, like when we were writing those songs, and you showed me Blaze Foley, who I didn't know well at all.
Mhm.
Uh, I think I'd maybe seen his like Tales from the Tour Bus, but we dug in hard to that shit. Like we listened to a lot of, and then I remember in Portland, like right before the plague, we had a little fucking end of song thing, kind of just like ad libbed through "Not My President."
Yeah, yeah,
It's just those moments where it's just like, that might have even gone over my head if we didn't hang out and write songs for a while.
yeah,
It just felt
yeah.
cool.
Well, I wanted to because I love that sentiment. Like, you could literally like. I mean, I'm not a very political person, but that line just speaks to me so much. It's like he's the president, but I don't care.
Oh,
Like, like
perfect.
who fucking cares?
Yeah,
Like, it meant like when I
yeah,
heard that, I was like, somebody finally said something that I
yeah.
actually kind of like understand, like politically, and that speaks to me because usually it's either one way or the other. This guy's just straight up the middle. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. And he's like this scary, beautiful bastard.
Yeah. Well, he had like a lot of problems in his life where he was like a tall guy and he was like quite like severe looking. Like I don't know, maybe I wouldn't call him ugly, but he kind of thought he was ugly, and people would kind of like look at him like really like
Yeah.
with fear and whatnot, and it just kind of really saddened him. And he wrote poems about like how he didn't want people to be scared of him his whole life. Like his
Oh,
life story is unbelievable, like truly unbelievable. He fucking got shot in Austin, uh, trying to save. I think what happened was um, this guy's son, his friend's son, was stealing
here,
his
someone's asking.
welfare checks.
Someone's asking. We're talking about Blaze Foley. Continue.
Yeah, Blaze Foley. And some guy's son was stealing his welfare checks, and he was Blaze's like best friend. He used to hang out there all the time. So he stayed there one night when he knew the son was going to come by, and tried to fight him. And then the son grabbed a gun and shot him right through the liver, murdered him.
God. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
yeah,
you did you watch the Ethan Hawke flick about him?
yeah,
You
yeah.
did?
It I found it to be a little bit boring, to be honest.
That's
No
weird. He's
offense.
not a boring guy. That's surprising.
No, I think probably I'd like it on a second or third watch. Like the
Oh,
more I'd watch it, I would like it. But I read a book called "Living in a Tree in the Woods," and
yeah.
it's what the movie's based off of,
Okay.
and it's just like unbelievable. It's his girlfriend wrote it after he died,
Yeah.
and they literally lived in a treehouse for like a year and a half together in the woods, just in the middle of, I think it was like Georgia. Just, I don't know. The guy is like so romantic. He's a crush of mine, to say the
Yeah.
least.
Yeah. You think tour is like a weird lifestyle? Living in a treehouse would be weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. like you think of it as like beautiful and stuff. I'm sure it had its pitfalls.
Yeah, that's a long paragraph to describe that, and one of those sentences would be good, and maybe bad. Yeah,
Yeah, but he's my favorite, like one of my favorites at least.
yeah. Well, just the duct tape wizard with the IUD
Yeah,
hanging.
the duct tape messiah.
Yeah. Oh, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a story I wanted to tell is when we first met. So we basically, I guess it was probably the first time I even went to Toronto. Definitely the first time I went to Montreal, but we went and did those two GNR dates, and then we did like 5 or 6 through Ontario. So we played Merchant Tap House in Kingston with you guys, and we played the Drake with you guys. And this
Yeah.
was old school. This is like when Wes and Lydia were in the band. Um, and then it ended up being when we booked our first cross country tour. It was just like a short conversation of like, hire those guys, because Ruby was just the coolest fucking song I'd ever heard.
One chord.
Say
One
what?
chord, baby.
Yeah,
One chord.
that's the thing, man. I come from electronic music, and who needs 2 chords? You're fine. But so we start the thing. You guys show up in Kamloops, and you had this like convertible school bus, and we thought that was the coolest fucking thing we'd ever seen. We're like, they got bunks, they have an Xbox. Oh my god, we're gonna like. I hope they'll drive me around. And then, fucking, I don't know, cut weekend, somewhere around Medicine Hat again. Maybe that's the problem. We see you guys pulled over on the side of the road, so we pull over, and the thing is toast. And you guys do the most rock and roll shit I've ever seen, which was get a U-Haul and just fucking throw yourselves in the back of it in the dark, just hacking darts, ripping across the country. So we'd go to gas stations, and you go, and you'd all just fucking kind of stumble out of there, back in.
Well, we weren't gonna cancel our first tour ever. Like,
But that's, man, I knew like, and like, cause I didn't know you guys that well, right? And we were taking your trailer for a bunch of it while you guys got a new whip, and then you were taking our stuff. I remember I pressed Jay for 1 second. I was like, well, man, like if you got all our stuff and you're late, that means I'm late. And he's like, our fucking bus exploded and we didn't miss a gig. And I was like, that's true.
oh man, that was some trying times
Yeah. I was
during
like, I
that.
trust this dude, but like, I don't really fucking know him. Let's just push him a little bit. And he had just the perfect answer. I was like, yeah, I would be crying.
He's not an easy man to push. I know JM. He's not.
No,
No.
no, I wrote a song that had a line about, because when I met him, he had to change fighting style to slapping because he broke his hand too many times. And that made its way into a Voldo Blanc song because I was like, who is this fucking dude? Crystal, we'll try to get her out here at some point to have a chat about it. But one tune I want to kind of focus on, the last song on the record before like Susie's Revenge, I'm Right Here. That piano one, and I remember showing, because I showed you a bunch of instrumentals because we just had a lot of instrumentals. And that one kind of stirred the soul a bit. And I had some very complicated poem I was trying to fucking, round hole it into this song. And you were just like, shut up, write a standard. What are you trying to say? And I'm like, I love you. You're like, start with that. And you said, I love you. It was like, it doesn't have to be so fucking hard, does it?
Well, that's kind of the way I think. And Packer always gets mad at me because there's too many mentions of love in our songs. He hates mentioning oh yeah, any mention of God or love, just no.
Love songs are great.
I know.
Country music.
I know. Yeah, no, I remember how scared you were to just like say the word love too. I think it was like that first line you were just kind of freaked out the thought of starting like that. But I think that's one of the best ones on the album. I love that fucking song.
That's the single going to Canadian radio next week, I think. But yeah, dude, it was just it was vulnerable, and even the vocal take, like, fuck, we didn't do those. And then I was gonna re-sing it, and I kept trying to re-sing it, and it was just like I was in a booth and it was sounding too slick. Versus that was just like right from the guts. I'm kind of out of tune. I'm raspy as hell because we were staying up till every day.
Yeah,
it was honest, and it clicked. And
see, I have a lot of troubles retaking vocals, especially if I finish a song.
Oh, yeah. Cause it's like picking a scab, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you kind of put that behind you. But I was also thinking too. Also, Wesley was there at that our first gig we ever played together, playing Head of the
Oh
House.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He gave you a shout out today too. That was nice.
He's a fucking good man. I've known him since we were like really small, too small to even show you on this thing. But we had our first band practice. That's where that one photo is from. And yeah, well, I don't know, man. With that song, it's just like it's short and it flows and then it ends, and it reminds me of like really like Lady Grinning Soul, the Bowie tune, the last one off Aladdin singing. And
Yeah.
like that's what gave me when I was super young, and he just died like a month ago, and it just feels full circle that song kind of inspired this little piano idea, which is now like the fucking tune on this record.
I love it because it's got like two choruses almost too.
Yeah, it's like either part's a hook, and it doesn't really matter, you know.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I was also going through. I was looking for like photos of us from whenever ago, and then I saw the photo of Jordan's dog, which I almost let out. Like, well, I did let out.
Oh, in Toronto. Yeah.
I opened the door because he was going to drive me back to Hamilton, and these two beautiful dogs. I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" And they go, phew, and they just fuck right off past me, and that's when I realized that you can run really, really fast.
Yeah. See, I was gonna thank you for that because that was the day that I started to impress them, and it was with my speed chasing down
You're
the dog.
welcome.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry, Jordan. I don't know if you can hear me.
Sorry. I will say I am one of the fastest road short distance runners, probably in most rooms.
Here's my challenge to you, and I did this challenge, and someone got really hurt in Quebec City once. I guarantee I can skip faster than you.
Probably. I can see you being a good skipper. You're kind of lanky and long. Yeah.
I can skip faster than I can sprint, and I don't know why.
Dude. Yeah, that's a weird image. I can totally see you being like a world champion skipper.
It doesn't look cool at all. It doesn't look cool.
No, it's not a graceful thing to do.
Danette Williams, the queen of the scene from Manitoba.
Yeah.
She's Eyes I'd Never Seen is her favorite after 4 listens. And that one, because like I showed up at your place with a bunch of instrumentals, and that one we literally just turned on the fucking Ableton looper, and the very first thing we said was and that's the sound that's on the song.
Yeah.
Because we heard it and we're like, this is weird, but why redo it? It feels like what it's supposed to feel like.
I love that song.
Oh, dude. And I like you can hear you singing on it, and that the piano, because you didn't have a patch cord in your house, that the piano's just like holding, where are you? Fucking holding this microphone like on this little shitty speakers on your piano.
Yeah. I think wasn't it like a fucking like JBL speaker? Like
that's what we were monitoring with, but I think we might have just mic'd does your piano have speakers at all?
No, I don't. Oh, it was just like a speaker from the piano.
It sounded so rough. And then so Mark Rankin is the guy who mixed this, and the guy's cool as shit. He's done like Queens of Stone Age and Adele and Spoon and Weezer and blah blah blah. And I sent him all this stuff with no apologies, no like frame of reference. Even I was just like, "This is what it sounds like. How do you feel about mixing it?" And he knocked it out of the park, man. Like especially about the change the channel, that intro. That was just your acoustic. And I gave it to him, and I'm like,
yeah,
we're trying to make it kind of funky. Go to town. And he sent back what he sent back, and it was like,
yeah. Did he complain at all about the sound?
no, people who've mixed long enough, people have probably sent bigger piles of shit than I sent him. But also, like, we want it to sound kind of and dumb. So it wasn't like we weren't telling him to edit anything. We were just like, these are the sounds. Put them together how you want to, but like, don't quantize, don't tune, don't do any of that shit, because we want it to sound like a band, you know. And considering the record kind of like in different sessions in different countries, and I'm surprised how cohesive it feels.
Mm-hmm.
Just like some sounds on it, and the lyrical content I think works. Like we're talking about like how Packer doesn't want you to write love songs. There's this Nick Cave quote where he's like, I really try to write like a normal love song, just boy meets girl, but girl always goes into the kitchen and grabs a butcher's knife and always like takes that turn. So I kind of feel the same thing. Like when I think about my whole career, I'm like, all I write is love songs. They're just like sad bastard love songs that don't work out for me.
Wow, that's kind of the key, man.
Yeah, you need some conflict to write about.
It's funny when like love works out and people's music suffers. That's the funniest.
Yeah,
That's a scary thing.
yeah. It's like I don't know. There's always that thing of like, how much emotional turbulence can I turn into something productive versus how much is going to ruin my life?
In my life, yeah.
Because it's
There's a balance there.
yeah,
I've seen them both sides of that before.
yeah. Because I don't like if I'm having a great day, I don't grab a pen. I grab a surfboard. I go do something else, you know.
Yeah.
But when things are fucked up and there's a like a a cloud over your head or whatever's happening that needs like some fixing, all of a
Yeah,
sudden,
it's like therapy.
pen looks mighty attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, dude. Well, man, the last fucking concert I went to was seeing you sing, and that was really, really wonderful. I'm glad that happened, but too
Yeah.
long. Man. It's too
It's been
long.
a while. I know. It's been a while. I when this whole thing started, I was like, count your blessings, get a break. And then you get sitting on the couch and you're like, holy shit, I haven't done this in a long time. And you're playing video games with your bud, and and you start fishing, and everything feels great. And then you get to like the dead of the winter and it's like, oh my God,
Yeah,
what have I done? What's wrong with the world? You're scrolling through your phone and there's no tour in sight, no reprieve at all. I mean, I
nobody.
was like I was the main like guy of like the I guess the main spokesperson for like things could be worse as long
Yeah,
as you weren't like, affected by COVID personally. Like it's
yeah.
fine, but there has been some mental ramifications to this whole thing because I experienced a few, so I could just imagine what somebody else might be going through during this time.
But I feel like you kind of moving out to the sticks and me moving to LA, but Kelsey not having a card. Like we spent a lot of time alone this year,
Yeah, yeah,
and that like
yeah.
I don't know. You talk to some friends and they're like, "Hey man, I know the grass is always greener, but your grass is looking pretty fucking green." Because they have like 6 kids, but I'm just like, thank fuck I got a little doggy here, but it's lonely. It's
Yeah,
lonely. Yeah, that's a good time to write some songs. Though.
yeah, it is. And it's we were talking about this the other night. There's a certain balance of alone time. What was your quote that you said? You said,
Oh,
I need, I want to
oh,
see you like every year. But what was it saying?
uh, whatever. This she doesn't have Instagram. It's basically like I don't want to spend 6 months apart from you, but I want 6 hours apart from you every day. That's not a middle finger.
No, it's perfect. It's so true.
Yeah, it's just like I function pretty well on my own to a certain degree.
Hmm.
It's like if I don't have time alone, I fucking spiral out and things go bad. But too much can do the same.
Yeah,
So it's just like I was lucky that where we were with the album cycle, I had all these songs to just write it. Took the RV to the desert and just
yeah,
like worked on shit out there with Stringer. Without that record, I don't know what I would have done. And without going on tour with you in February, I don't know what I would have done. Because that would have been move, the entire music business collapses, and then I'm just sitting here like, I wonder if this was a good idea. So at least we got to have those tours, and like Seattle's the best show I've ever played in my whole life.
yeah. That was awesome.
And it was like, and we were first to three. It was just like that room,
Yeah,
and the fired up, and then you guys kicked the shit out of it too. Like, yeah, it was just that. That's one of those ones I'll remember forever. And I remember right before because I'd never been to the Showbox or that Showbox. I saw you play the other one with the Struts in Seattle, and I went and I was gonna buy a T-shirt because I was like, I love this place. And I was just about to pay, and I was like, I should wait and see how this show goes first, because I don't want like a commemorative T-shirt of like me falling down and chipping my teeth.
yeah,
And then we like played it, and I was like, that was the one, and I went and got the shirt. Felt so stoked. Stringer bit a hole in it, but I'm keeping it. I don't care.
nah, whatever.
It's just a production
Just
value.
brags.
Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah,
man, I really just want to fucking just say I appreciate you being up for taking these songs head on because I was treading water and I really didn't know where to go with them. And you slapped the fucking rust off and we just had a week, man. Just
Well, I'm glad, man. It was a great experience for me too. And I think like you're right. Like we spent a lot of time together on tour, but you don't get really to know each other as well as you
hard.
do when you're waking up and drinking coffee and writing tunes and digging as to how like what the songs are about and what you want to say. I mean, that's always been an amazing like connection that you bond with people when
I
it's
was,
that way.
I was kind of thinking like some people you meet where like I kind of have this way with like if you meet someone they love the thing that you love like you love it, all of a sudden like you don't have to just you're not the ego kind of dissolves and you're not afraid to say like I'm scared or I'm sad or this is beautiful and like I've only ever had that with like sometimes you meet like a surfer or like an actor who you just instantly do that. But I remember when we got there, the second we opened up the notebook, I was just like, this notebook's fully open. Told you shit I'd never told anybody. And it was just like,
Yeah.
because we both love songs, there's nothing you can't say in the room. And we also we laughed our asses off too, you know. There was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
But there was a lot of just putting the fucking heart on the page and being comfortable putting it, like looking at it, you know.
Yeah. And I think also like we're good at when I think probably like the dynamic of you being much more musical than I am and me. Well, no, it's a thing. Like it helps a lot to kind of be able to fill in each other's blanks a little bit.
Yeah.
And I've worked kind of with both kind of styles, but I've always found that if like well, obviously if I'm working with somebody that's not as musical as I am, then we're both fucked. But if I'm like working with somebody who's like quite musical has always been good for me because
Strange. It's okay.
it's
I'm up it.
oh, it's the boy. Is that your dog?
He's a good boy, but he was getting obsessed about this toy and he was gonna keep barking until I took it away from him. I'll give it back. Give it back later. But yeah, I get that too because like I don't know, my band fills in a lot of my blanks, and I'm very happy that there's shit that I can overthink, and instead I can just send it to them and they can just do the smart thing quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wesley just said, I feel like you can get to know someone faster by writing a song together than anything else. I think that's fair, man.
What did he say? You need to what?
He's just saying that there's no better way to get to know someone, or as no quicker way than writing.
100%.
But it's just like, you know, you're not there for yourself at that point. You're there for them, for the song. And if you can kick the fucking ego out and just be like, what's best for the song? Like I'm right here. I wouldn't have sung those fucking lyrics if you didn't nudge me, right?
Do they feel good still? Does it feel good saying it? Yeah.
It's still scary, but every fucking important thing I've ever done was scary. So whatever.
Yeah. It's yeah, I mean that's the point too. Like when you work with somebody you'll learn things that you might not have. I mean, I've learned so much from co-writes in my life. It's not even funny. When we went to make Young Beauties, working with the three guys in Los Angeles, like
Yeah.
I didn't realize how green I was until I got out of Kingston and started working with people who did it 365 days a year. And you know, they didn't want to change me at all, but they wanted me to dig deeper into like what I was trying to say and sift kind of the bullshit and the nonsense out. There was a lot of fights and conversations and blow ups and whatnot, but it really did help me.
Well, dude, it's another set of eyes. And it's like when people say, if you're making a movie, like when you're editing it, first thing you should do is delete your favorite shot. Just fucking get rid of it. Cause you like it. You probably like it for stupid reasons. And there's songs that like just the fucking one to me. But then I'm like, is it really the song or is it the memory of why I wrote it or how it came together or like, was it a happy accident? And all that shit is in my way, but it might not be in yours, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I do love just, it gets fucking scary, but I love just kind of letting someone else put their fucking hands on your baby and then be like, okay,
yeah. Yeah, handle with care. Yeah.
Yeah, and like
I've been a part of the other scenario too, where it's just like
Yeah,
Frankenstein's born, and something that you cared so much about is just a piece of shit now.
it's like well, I don't know. We're not gonna say the guy's name, but you know who I'm talking about. I had one of those rights, and it was like he doesn't get me at all.
Yeah.
And we tried it a couple times, and every time we left, and Maddie and I were like, "There's no situation where this makes the record." It's just like we're not communicating in a way that is like respectful of the song and the way that we think the song needs to live.
Yeah, and some people don't try to either. I mean, some people don't really care about that. They just want to hear something that they've heard before, or do something that they've done before with another artist to you, and that can be really tough too. It's because
Yeah.
it's especially if you're meeting somebody for the first time and
Oh,
you're
dude.
going in to write with them. It's like, oh, holy fuck, man!
Yeah.
Because you don't want to confront them and tell them to fuck off on the first day.
That's, it's a bad start. But it might
Yeah.
be, gotta say. But I don't know. The fun thing about it is like unless you have like a lot of people making the decisions for you, is like I still like that I tried to do those rights because I thought they wouldn't work out, but I was like, I'm gonna go in here with an open mind. And then when I left, I was just like, this is not how I want to. It's not how I want to sound, and it's not how I want.
Okay.
Right?
Question though, did you learn anything?
Yeah, yeah, I did, and like not just like
Well, what did you learn?
just kind of simplify lyrically, especially
Mm-hmm.
writing poems. But a good line in a poem isn't a good lyric always, right? And I think
Mm-hmm.
I I think I'm too smart sometimes, and I write lyrics that are what the same shit with I'm right here, right? I had a very convoluted way to say the same thing. You were like, just say I love you. And it's those like I didn't come out of there with a song I cared about, but it was a bit of like the just shake the fucking Newman off. It doesn't matter. Like I'm not really here. I'm just a vessel for the song to go through. Uh, and the more I get in the way, the more the song's gonna suck. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
That's like
that's kind of
convoluted.
one of my favorite. Yeah, conduit. You're a conduit. That's all you are, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes there's nothing to even pass through, but you have to be ready and you have to wait there. And when it strikes, it strikes. That's one of my. Whenever I'm having like periods of trouble writing, my manager told me like early on in our career I was having like writing block for like half a year,
Yeah.
and he just said, listen to me. He's like, your only job is to keep trying to get better, and you can write a whole bunch of shit songs, but your only job is to stay ready for when the inspiration comes. That's it. And I mean, it simplified everything for me in that
Yeah.
sense. And I obviously still get affected when I can't write well, but I mean, it made me a lot more sure of like what we're doing. It was a really important message, I think, to hear.
That's cool, man. Yeah. You just
Yeah,
need the tools to use the use the lightning when it hits you. You know,
yeah, yeah.
and it's not gonna hit you every day. That's
No.
beautiful. Which manager was it?
Oh, Jason, yeah, like our manager, yeah, yeah.
Question. Uh, Angela Crowley, this is Maddie's sister, saying, "Is a song sometimes interpreted differently between members?" Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, I kind of like putting the lyrics in front of someone and giving them no context. Like I need to like resist the urge to tell them why I wrote every part because it doesn't matter why I wrote it.
yeah,
Because they might the three of them might sing back for three different reasons, and that's awesome. Uh, and why I wrote it is honestly kind of fucking irrelevant. So it's yeah, that
yeah.
absolutely. It's
Well,
never.
like we wrote a song like 2 weeks ago, and I was I was like, do you know what that line means, Jay? And he's like, yeah, I think so. I don't know. Like, I kind of get it. And I
Yeah,
told him, he's like, well, I didn't think that, but basically, it's, it's like as simple as that sometimes. Like,
yeah,
it can be like, interpreted in like the exact way you want it, but not like literally from even what the line means.
Yeah,
Is it's so funny the way words work
yeah.
that way.
When it's like, I don't know, you can either, go the rapgenius.com route and give people every metaphor, and
Yeah.
it's fun, and I want to sometimes I really want to, and then I'm like, am I just doing that to feel smart, like I had a plan? Because I fucking didn't. uh
Mm.
Most of these songs I kind of just puke out, and if it comes from a poem or something that has a bit more thought to it, cool. But I don't want to tell someone exactly why I wrote something to then fuck up why they sing it, you know,
Hmm.
why it means something to them. And I always kind of fucking am on that line where I'm like, I could just talk about lyrics all day, every day. But my mom, she's an artist. She made that painting, and she told me artists should all have their tongues cut out. Like, I guess not singers because you have to sing, but she's like, and she didn't write that, but just like, if your piece of art does not effectively communicate itself, then it's probably not
Yeah,
worth it.
that's an incredible quote. I
And
totally do that.
yeah, and I don't know, some context can help, but if you really think like, is a song working or is a song not working, you probably shouldn't have to explain why you said what you said.
And I even think also like nowadays people like more so are hungry for like the content behind the songs and like why they got written and what the message is. And I feel like more and more people want these stories. And I think that that just undermines the whole fucking thing. I've been caught so many times and called and asked to like explain a song or do
Yeah,
something like that for some kind of company or I don't know, uh, social media site. It's never comfortable trying to do that. Even if you know what a song is exactly about, after 8 months after you wrote it, it changes anyways in your brain. Like
dude,
they never stay the same, even to the artist. I don't think.
no, and they should evolve, right? Because that means
Yeah.
you're evolving, right? And the same words can hit you fucking differently. Like, um, there's this woman that I think I was telling you about, Gray Griffin, and so she's like the voice actress that does Susie's Arrival, Susie's Revenge at the beginning and end of the record, and
Hmm.
she's a singer. And I'm supposed to be talking about this, but it's live. She'll never find out, or she will. Um, but she has this song, "Don't Let Go of My Hand." It's one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard, and it just like, it fucking just kills me. But there's this lyric in it that is like this exact toast my uncle used to make at every dinner, and my uncle passed away. And I was just like, she had no idea what those words in that order meant to me. They meant something to her, but like, how cool is that? That like, you plucked those out of thin air, put them in the airwaves, uh, and it just hit me
Yeah.
right in the heart, because it just,
Rain the guy.
my fucking uncle's toast that he'd been doing since I was a kid. Like, and those are just
Yeah.
magical. Man, she doesn't know I had an uncle. We never talked about this dude. Uh,
Yeah.
but that's like music's the most. It's got to be the closest thing to magic on planet Earth, man. You make
I
something,
think so.
you make the air wiggle, and then some people weep or scream or cry or mosh or whatever. Like, it's just cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Well,
like,
here's a question for you. Me
shoot,
and Jordan were discussing this. Um, what do you think the hardest art form is? Like to accomplish? I know that it ranges, like from, of course, from person to person, but like just standing back and looking at, say, like literature, visual art, music, like what acting, what's the hardest one to like
I
to
like when I think about that, I think about, this artist Kalen Thomas, and so he's the guy. He designed Wilfred, our little logo up there. But he makes
yeah.
these. I think I'm probably showing you, but they're like 2 meters wide. They take him 2 years to do. He makes these paintings, and they're like, he made like really cool, like kind of graffiti style shit when we were in college and we lived together. And then he moved to Australia, and he just like went nocturnal and started just painting 15 hours a day. And he pieces together these things that like, they take years, and he literally works on them every day. And then it's like, they look like old masters. Like, you could see this stuff in the Louvre, and I can't even begin to conceptualize how that works. Like, I've
Yeah.
never written a book, but I write a lot, so I can imagine
Yeah.
how writing feels. Uh,
Yeah.
or like made a building, but I drafted for my mom's interior design company for years, so I kind of get how shit gets put together, but I can't even
Yeah.
begin how you fucking make a painting like that.
No,
What
that's
about
very
you?
true.
Or what did you and Jordan land on?
I think she landed on. I think she landed on painting. Um, I always thought, like for me, the Great White Buffalo is like a book, like in novels, because of how much expanding you have to do.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know that for sure because I'd never written a book, but as a songwriter, I feel like it's like taking an idea and going like this.
yeah,
And as like an author, it's about taking an idea like this and just creating like a vast world out. And that to me is just incredible. But I think it kind of gets overlooked because it's a little bit more like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem as extravagant as other art. But
yeah,
it seems like to me it's like gotta be pretty fucking hard to write like a great novel.
yeah. I guess when I think about it, like you you saw my lyric file. I'm an idiot, by the way. I don't have like individual things. I have a 250-page document of every dumb thing I've thought for 10 years. And then I control F and I try to find stuff, and I usually don't. Um, so I
It's
really,
crazy. Your thing is crazy.
it's stupid. I know, but it just is what it is. But when I think about that, it's like, okay, well, I can write a lot, but there is no idea that's more than 3 pages long. So yeah, I that is that's that's impossible. I can't imagine.
Well, you're the way you fucking with that lyric book is you don't even write lines in order a lot of the times.
No,
So
it's a
like
lot. Some
you
stuff's some stuff
you
is.
write a song out of order and then sing it in order. It is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that's fair. It's. I'm not,
It's so wild.
but it's dumb. But also like I'll write a word or a lyric, and then in brackets I'll write what's maybe a better lyric, and then in double brackets what's maybe a worse
Oh,
lyric, and then I'll try
yeah.
to just it and try to fucking Tetris my way through it.
I forgot about that too. Yeah, like the that's crazy to me. Is like writing like maybe this word works better here. Way this one. It's like just land on one and go with it.
Yeah, like if you look for like just like vocal takes, like the outtakes, like there's just so many that are just like la 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 fuck, because
Yeah,
I just read the maze wrong.
I do that too. I do
Yeah,
that too.
I guess like
But
when I start to like
you use. I don't.
it's like when I start to try and like edit it and make it look neat, it starts to feel like work, and then I don't like it, so I just don't.
Hmm.
But I want it to feel good, and making new ideas feels good, so I just write it in brackets beside and fucking keep going. But
Yeah,
it
makes
is.
sense.
I'm looking at it right now, and it's scary. I don't even like clicking that tab. It's too many words.
It's
I should have
wild.
all the songs that I've put out from that. I should just at least delete those. Get knock them down.
No, but don't delete it. I have any kind of phobia about deleting anything because I have like 3 or 4 phones worth of like lost stuff. And I don't even know how that is because of the iCloud thing, but for some reason, I think it was maybe, was there ever a time before iCloud, like 5 years ago or 6 years ago?
There must
Yeah.
have, because I haven't been using it so long.
Because
Yeah,
I
but
lost so much material
if you,
that way.
yeah, if you didn't like back up your hard drive, like any hard drive, it would just disappear when you threw your phone in or whatever.
Yeah. Never delete. Never delete.
Yeah.
Now, hey, you're going to love this. I got a recording studio in my house. And do you want to know how I do it?
Yeah.
I use 2 iPhones. And I record the guitar riff into the one,
Yeah.
and then I take the other phone and put it up like this against it and sing into it.
You janky son of a bitch. Can I send you microphones? I have some that I don't need. I feel like if I sent them, you wouldn't use them. Keep going with your iPhone.
I, it's just so much easier. I don't know why. It's probably harder, but it seems easier.
Just oh
Sorry,
yeah,
I
that's
missed that.
fucking insane. Well, I guess. Oh, sorry. My mom started to call, so then I had to hang up on her. Sorry, mom. Uh, But basically, like, it just shows there's not a right or wrong way to put down an idea, especially when it first shows up. When it first shows up, just find a way to document it, unless you're like have a very good memory. I know some people. I think it's like a Jack White thing he's talked about, but I know some other people too who are like, if I can't remember it, it's not worth remembering.
Jay-Z does that.
And I don't think, I think I'm too dumb and I would let a good melody go because I didn't just put it down. So I just stop what I'm doing mid dinner, just be like, excuse me, la, 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 and then come back.
Yeah, I find that like there's like a level of genius to that I don't even understand because like I forget things every day all the time. Like and like some of my best shit I've forgotten and then remembered. Like
Whoa.
after searching through 1,000 piles of
Yeah.
voice notes and
Do you,
notes and stuff.
do you have the voice notes of those two? I don't want to say the names in case you're doing something with them, but those two that we did at your house that were going to maybe be TGS songs.
You can say the names. What are they?
Wow, this one started with "Let's get to the heart of this." I don't want to say the next lyric because it's a really good one. And then there was
Oh yeah.
whatever the one night in New York or 6 hours in New York or some shit.
One night in New York, I still or what was it called? It was something like that. Yeah, but I have that voice note. We never even touched that. But the other one I tried to make and it turned out like too sexy for like the for like
Yeah.
the lyric content, and I was like, nah, this is sounding weird now.
But there's like I don't know that one had a lot of guts to it. So try it again at some point.
Yeah, I find that sometimes like I like to get like deep, but I also don't like to get like too too heady for my own good
Yeah,
because I just find that sometimes I can like try to like say too much at once
yeah,
rather than just say something simply. I
yeah.
always have troubles with those songs at the end.
I'm gonna give you shit there because I very simply said something real beautiful, very nicely, and especially in the first like couple lyrics of that song. Just like I get it, I'm with you. Take me where you're going.
Well, thank you. Someday it might come out.
All right.
I know Fred really loved it, but
Yeah.
like I said, it just got too sexy, and I was like, weird, man.
That's the thing about Fred. You get Fred and Costco together, some sexy shit's gonna happen.
Sexy man, boys, yeah.
Now, well, I'm sorry things got re locked down over there in Ontario, but like I said, I'm in California. Let's go fishing.
At some point, but I don't care. This lockdown's really not. I mean, I'm already like I came out here for peace anyways, and it's not
Yeah.
affecting me too much. I know like a couple people I know are having like a really hard time with this lockdown, and
Yeah.
I do think that like I'm a little bit pissed that they put that much responsibility on citizens for a year, and we do such a good job, and then they fuck up the end game. That like just
Yeah.
kills, like especially for somebody like my mom and dad who have been inside and just
Fucking love your.
yeah, and they've been following the rules completely to a T, doing
Yeah.
everything the government says, and then to fuck it up at the 11th hour is just it's like ugh, please.
Yeah. Well, because like I don't know, like I was telling you here, like the vaccine rollout, it fucking actually feels like a corner is being rounded, like there's light at the tunnel, and it's just like you just got to get more of those things over the border, and you'll catch right up, you know. But
Yeah,
it's like in BC as bad as it's been. But fuck it, I don't want to talk about this.
well, yeah. Yeah. The last thing I'll say is somebody said yesterday, I just hope capitalism works because you guys will have like a surplus and then
Yeah,
you'll just sell it to us.
yeah, I think that's honestly already happening. So just like fucking whatever, we'll get through it. But if anything, people will never take concerts for granted ever again.
Never again.
Yeah, I was talking with my brother, and he's just like, all right, you can time machine warp yourself to any concert right now. And it was just like, I want to go see The Prodigy. I want to bring Keith back from the dead. And I want to just be in a mosh pit of scary British people throwing me around to drum and bass music. It's just,
That's sweet. No, you. It's little stuff too, though, like hugging,
Oh,
even acquaintances or like people that you might not be best friends with. Like it's like that was a thing that actually I think matters to people's everyday lives, and you don't really remember that until you get into something like this. And do you watch movies now and like see people hug and you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like
yeah, dude.
that's the start of the whole thing. I was like, man, these guys are being pretty.
I watch like even like I watch a lot of concert films just because I'm sad and I want to go on tour. And just seeing that many people, right? Like that clip that was going around when DMX died of him in the red overalls with just like this sea of Woodstock, and it was
Oh,
just like, can you imagine how good that's gonna feel to just be able to bump into people and not give a shit? Like even eye contact got weird when because I was in the desert like alone for a long time, and then there was a moment when I got back from that and people were looking at me and I'm like, okay, I'm like a stray dog. I need to like work on this, or I'm just gonna huddle up.
was that was that a lonely time?
I liked it because it was early days, right? And like I was just scared of LA because it's so many people and we didn't know exactly how radioactive this shit was. So and I got to look at the stars every night. So like it's hard to bitch about. And because I had the record, like I needed a lot of time alone to do a good job of this. So it was fun for a bit. And I was just like,
Yeah,
right, you're in the middle of the desert. Like I'm not parking in like camp spots. I'm just like pulling over in Joshua Tree and just looking at stars all night. And it was beautiful, but it was
yeah.
weird and it got really, really hot because it was like I stayed there till the summer almost, and it's like at midnight it's still like 35, 38 degrees Celsius. It's like, okay, I gotta get I gotta get to the water. And then, thankfully I found surfing halfway through this, and that is just like it's the best thing I've ever done with my life. Just get in the water every day.
I know so many people who love it.
It's
I
just I don't know. When it's big, it's kind of scary, but it's like I'm not doing it for adrenaline. I'm doing it because you just feel like you're a part of nature, just sitting there in the waves for a couple hours.
mhm.
And especially I live in a big city, but it doesn't feel like it there because I'm always looking out, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just like, dolphins and shit. But I could always tell when I would start to say hi to the pelicans, I was like, okay, maybe I'm getting lonely. I should call them.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
it's pretty normal. I've talked to the dog quite a few sentences to the dog throughout this last 6.
yeah. They've heard every song we know at this point.
He doesn't like my music. My dog hates my music. I swear
Well,
to
maybe you just haven't written the right song yet.
God. I guess so.
Hey, write a goddamn hit, would you? All right, buddy. Well, I fucking love you. I appreciate
Love you
you
too, man.
for chatting. And I just really like where your fingerprints are on this album, and I like when your voice pops up too. Uh, but that's what I needed, man.
Thanks.
This wouldn't exist like it exists without you. So we all appreciate you, the whole band.
Awesome, man. I'm glad that we did that. We'll do it again.
Okay, sweet. All right, and all you fine people who've been commenting, we appreciate the fuck out of you. If we miss something, just send us a message. We'll get to it. But all right, au revoir. It's release day. Change the channel. Go download that
All
shit.
right, bud. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye.